Last time, we saw the Saiyans continuing to prepare for the rebellion. After finding a remote planet, the Ginyu Force eventually was able to locate them. After a tough-fought battle, the Saiyans did win, but now Frieza's finally found them. Will he be able to actually kill the Saiyans, or will they claim victory? We'll be seeing all that and more in part 3 of What If Kakarot Was in Vegeta's crew. After displaying the full power of his first form, Frieza launches in. The fight begins. But much to Frieza's surprise, in his first form, he's absolutely demolished. He can't even keep up with one of them. Even Raditz individually could keep up with him pretty closely, with Frieza only being slightly above him. And the other three, they're stronger than his first form individually, but right now they're all fighting together so they're not even at full power. Frieza checks his scouter, still in disbelief, and it shows that collectively the four of them only slightly outmatch his first form. Okay, just like he thought. They're a lot stronger than expected, but he could defeat them by transforming easily. Of course, what he doesn't realize is that they're not at full power right now. They're trying to conserve energy, and this is only a fraction of their strength. Frieza goes into his second form, so they show off more power too. They're surprised to see this transformation and hear that he actually has more. But it's not really too big of a deal for them. They still feel confident here. As for Frieza though, he's absolutely confused. He didn't know the Saiyans would be this strong, especially the low-class ones. And seeing that they were able to grow in power when he transformed, he decides he's not going to hold back anymore. Maybe he shouldn't underestimate them, as much as he'd love to. He completely skips his third form, going right into his final form. He doesn't have time to charge into his full power right away, but his current level should be more than enough. He commends them for making him go this far in general, but this is the last thing that they'll be able to see. They should take solace in the fact that they're able to actually see this form. They're pretty much the only ones to ever fight him in this form. And now, this match is actually getting a little bit more even. Actually, going more into Frieza's favor now. By the time he's showing off 50% of his full strength, that's of course going to give the Saiyans trouble. But they actually do have one thing working in their favor, and it's out of pure coincidence. All at once, the four Saiyans leave the fight, rocketing away towards the other side of the planet. Frieza of course chases them, wondering why they're running. It's already too late for that. But they're not retreating. They're going somewhere, basically leading Frieza into an ambush. They arrive on the complete opposite side of the planet. This was completely unintentional, but when they found this planet, they did see that it had a moon, giving off a pretty good amount of Blitz waves too. Even when it's not full, they get more than enough radiation. The moon is in full view. The four rocket up into the atmosphere, trying to absorb as many Blitz waves as possible, getting as close to the moon as they can to make sure that they get everything they can get. And by the time Frieza is near them, it's already too late. 4 great apes fall down from the sky, landing on Frieza. Of course they have artificial moons, but they didn't want to use that just yet, especially when they have a perfectly good moon right here. This boost in power actually really does help them out, although it's still not as much as they really need here. Even with all of their power combined, Frieza's 50% is still slightly stronger than their collective strength as great apes. But this is fun for him too. This will make him feel even better, beating the Saiyans at their peak, 4 of them at once too, and he's not even using his full power. Frieza has the upper hand in this battle, although he does get bored of fighting the great apes, and he wants to see the look on their faces when he kills them. Plus, he might as well make it easier on himself. He could just cut off their tails, but the easiest thing to do is just simply blow up the moon. Frieza lets out a huge shockwave of power, blowing the great apes away from him. He smirks as he points a finger into the sky, launching a beam from it so powerful that it instantly blows up the moon. The sky is darker without the moon's reflected light, illuminated with fiery meteors showering down on the planet, making it look almost apocalyptic. The Saiyans all de-transform, going back into their base. Frieza says it's been fun testing out his power, but he's pretty much done here. He doesn't want to waste any more time or effort, especially because they proved that they can't really do anything against him. Once again, he does commend them though. They made it this far. They are quite strong after all, just not really on his level. It's too bad they're fighting the Emperor, the strongest person in the universe. Nappa's the first one to try and attack Frieza again. Frieza lifts up the same finger that he destroyed the moon with, and pretty casually launches a beam right through Nappa's chest, then pointing a finger at Kakarot. The moment the beam's about to hit Kakarot, Raditz tackles his brother out of the way, taking the full force of the beam as it goes through him instead. Vegeta's able to get in close and tries fighting Frieza, but he effortlessly dodges all of Vegeta's attacks. Kakarot doesn't even try to attack. He tries to see if Raditz and Nappa are still alive, and barely they are. As Frieza's casually dodging all of Vegeta's attacks, the other 3 Saiyans catch his eye, and he realizes that he didn't finish the job. He chuckles and says he'll get it right this time, whipping Vegeta away with his tail, then lifting up a finger in each hand, launching another death beam from each finger. Kakarot jumps out of the way just in the nick of time, but Frieza only launches 2 beams, aimed more decisively this time around, hitting Raditz and Nappa right in the head. That should do the job. Vegeta struggles to get back up after taking that attack, with Kakarot realizing it's just him and Vegeta left. Raditz and Nappa, they're actually dead, and they died so easily too. And it's not because they're weak, it's just because Frieza's strong, way too strong. All the hard work that Kakarot did, it was for nothing. They're still not going to win here. But even if the odds are against him, Kakarot's not giving up just yet. He still has fight left in him. The ground starts shaking around him, with his aura flaring up, this time changing into a golden color. But that's it. Kakarot's rage fuels him as he launches in towards Frieza, gaining a huge boost in speed and power, although it's not a massive boost. Frieza's taken aback at first. He's actually taking some damage from Kakarot's attacks. Whatever power he's using right now is clearly stronger than his Grade 8 form, and Frieza's surprised that they even had any more power left in them. But Kakarot tells Frieza no matter what, they're going to win here. He won't accept Raditz and Nappa's death either, especially after Raditz even saved him, something he could have never expected. The Saiyans were never close to each other, at least not until very recently, and even then, they're barely friends, basically just allies at most. But that act from Raditz, sacrificing himself to save Kakarot, that's the first truly brotherly thing he's ever done. It's the first time he's ever seen anything like that from a Saiyan in general. The only time he's ever actually seen a Saiyan do something like that is, well, when his parents saved him, back as a kid. Despite never getting to see much of the Saiyans on planet Vegeta, he knows that what happened just now, that's un-Saiyan-like. Everything they've been doing so far is extraordinary, never before seen from the Saiyans. And it reminds Kakarot, they're not just stuck as being meathead brutes. They could be more than that. They could be valiant warriors like this. The anger at the death of Raditz and Nappa, as well as the determination to win, that's what's fueling Kakarot here, giving him a brief boost in power. Vegeta stumbles as he stands up, still feeling awe from taking that attack from Frieza. Just a single tail whip was able to do this to him, and it makes him wonder if what he's seeing is actually real. Kakarot's doing pretty well against Frieza, and it makes Vegeta wonder what kind of power that is, that golden aura surrounding him. Is he a Super Saiyan? No, it can't be. But he has no other explanation for what this is. Little does Vegeta know though, this isn't Super Saiyan. Sure, Kakarot's getting some sort of a boost. This is a false Super Saiyan of sorts, but not the true form. But even if Kakarot did have the real Super Saiyan form here, it still wouldn't be enough. This boost in power only temporarily distracts Frieza. It looks like Kakarot didn't have a big enough push yet to actually get that power. And with one serious attack, Frieza's able to land a direct hit on Kakarot, delivering enough power in this attack to knock him unconscious. It does make Frieza wonder what that power was, and if it is a Super Saiyan, that makes him even happier. Not only is he killing the Saiyans, but he made a Super Saiyan appear, and he defeated a Super Saiyan easily. He had nothing to worry about this entire time. It makes him laugh, pretty much uncontrollably, maniacally too. Once more he lifts his finger up, ready to kill Kakarot, with Vegeta still watching on, trying to regain his composure. He flies back in to try and fight Frieza. Frieza of course just continues dodging him again, surprised that Vegeta's still alive. But just like Kakarot, Vegeta has determination carrying him. Also, rage, just as much as Kakarot's feeling. Even though he might have not shown it before, Vegeta knows that somewhere deep down he has cared for the Saiyans at least somewhat his whole life, even if it was very minutely. And not this specific group of Saiyans, but the Saiyans in general. That too, it's part of his whole pride as a Saiyan. He's the prince. Not only is he watching his comrades die here, he's watching the entire Saiyan race die, the remainder of it, whatever little's left of it. And it angers him to no end. But even more than that, he needs to prove himself. He needs to show that he's still the strongest Saiyan. He's the prince. It's his duty to do that. If Kakarot can get a boost in power like that, he can too. He'll defeat Frieza. His whole life, he's wanted to do that. He's not going to die here. As one of the two Saiyans left, he's not going to let either of them die here. It's out of pride for his race, determination to win, and out of anger for everything that's happened so far. That's what's fueling him right now. The emotions he's feeling are even more intense than what Kakarot felt. And something snaps within Vegeta. His power skyrockets, and for a brief moment, he becomes something unexpected. In an outburst of rage, he attacks Frieza, with Frieza completely dumbfounded at what he's seeing. Vegeta's hair's turned completely golden. His eyes have changed color. He has that same aura that Kakarot had. But his power is so much more intense. Frieza can't even sense it, but he can just feel it. The pressure from that aura. Briefly, and without even realizing it, Vegeta has turned into a Super Saiyan. A true Super Saiyan. Blinded by his rage, it fuels him to keep fighting, even though he barely has any stamina left. With the sheer amount of power he's showing off, he completely stuns Frieza, hitting him with a rapid flurry of attacks. Frieza's launched far into the atmosphere, with Vegeta charging a Gallic gun, the strongest one he's ever done yet. The purple beam of light darts across the sky, making direct contact with Frieza, once and for all, defeating the Emperor, launching him far out into space. Vegeta obviously would have loved to savor that more, but in the moment the power intoxicated him, the rage intoxicated him, plus the desire to just kill Frieza right then and there. He didn't know if this power was fleeting, he didn't even know what it was, and due to his lack of energy at the moment, he even drops out of the form. He looks over at the rest of the group. Raditz and Nappa are there lifeless, with Kakarot there on the ground unconscious, but thankfully still alive. Whatever happened just now, that must have been what Vegeta was theorizing. Kakarot didn't become a Super Saiyan, Vegeta did. Just like he wanted. It's only natural. He's the prince after all, an elite warrior. And while the four of them did put class aside, Vegeta thinks it has to do with him being an elite class warrior, and that's why Kakarot couldn't do it. He's low class. He just simply couldn't pull it off. But still, it's amazing that he got a semblance of that power. Of course, what Vegeta doesn't know is that both of them are capable of doing this. Kakarot just needed a little bit more of a push. And it does make Vegeta wonder if it's possible. Especially because they're not done yet. Sure, they defeated Frieza, but King Cold's still out there somewhere, and now they have half the amount of people. Kakarot's not even conscious right now. He still doesn't even know what happened. Vegeta's glad that he was able to defeat Frieza, especially with him being the one to deliver the final blow. But in the end, they still did have a loss. It wasn't a flawless victory, and they should probably leave this planet as quickly as possible. He buries Raditz and Nappa, showing uncharacteristic respect for them. If this Vegeta were any different, normally he wouldn't even think of doing this. He probably would just laugh at their death, saying they were weak and they deserved it. But here, he's showing respect for their efforts, respect for them being his comrades. Kakarot's also placed in a healing pod on the ship, as Vegeta sets a course for a new planet. Kakarot eventually does wake up and fully heals. Learning of how the fight ended, glad that Vegeta was able to win there. Kakarot still doesn't know what power overcame him, but he wonders if he can unlock the same power that Vegeta did, the true Super Saiyan form. Although, he still can't help but regret the death of Nappa and Raditz. But Vegeta says it might not be a total loss. He has heard rumors out there, although they're just rumors. But somewhere in the universe there's apparently some sort of wish-granting orb, or maybe multiple wish-granting orbs. He doesn't know for sure, but it makes him wonder if they'd ever be able to bring anyone back. He kinda wants to pursue that, and if they do exist, well, they'll just take them for whatever planet they find them on. Remember too, while they are the protagonists of the story, the Saiyans are still not good people. If these wish-granting orbs do exist out there, Vegeta and Kakarot will just take them from whatever planet they're on. Of course, they're not as cold-hearted as normal Saiyans now, but it's not like they're pure good superheroes either. But whatever the case may be, they're gonna go and find them, if they even do exist, that is. But first, they need to figure out where to go next in general. Not only in that search for wish orbs, but just what their next step is in life. Especially because soon enough, King Cold will probably find them. Of course, King Cold does eventually come by the planet where the fight took place on. And out in space, he finds something really interesting. He finds Frieza. He's mangled, but he's still alive. Only just barely though. He's just been floating aimlessly out in space, with no power to even move around. But King Cold's not too worried. Thankfully his body's relatively still intact. Frieza's badly injured, a lot of his injuries are internal. But simply placing him in the healing pod, that'll be enough to heal him up. They won't even need to put mechanical parts in him like Mecha Frieza. Immediately King Cold takes Frieza in on the ship, and he starts his healing process. With King Cold wondering who could have possibly done this. He knew Frieza was doing something about the Saiyans, so maybe it's related to that. But you'll have to wait for Frieza to wake up before he actually finds out. And with that, we'll leave off here for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next? Leave any thoughts or ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel and shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.